I am folding the pens. The
10 seconds. Oh, I didn't read it.
So I'm calling the Tuesday, October 2nd, 2012 meeting of the City Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One moment. Kathy. It's customary to have the mayor read the open podium invitation, which is an opportunity for residents to address the City Council. Open podium is an opportunity for Eden Prairie residents to address the City Council on issues related to Eden Prairie City government before each council meeting, typically the first and third Tuesday of each month from 6:30 to 6:55 p.m. in the council chamber. If you wish to speak at open podium, please contact the city manager's office at 952-949-8412 by noon of the meeting date with your name, phone number, and the subject matter. If time permits, after scheduled speakers are finished, the mayor will open the floor to unscheduled speakers. Open podium is not recorded and not televised. If you have questions about open podium, please contact the city manager's office. I'm also sitting in tonight as the acting mayor. Our mayor is out of town. Nancy Terlukens will be back at our next meeting. Tonight, we have no proclamations or presentations, so I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda and other items of business.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any items to add? None. Hearing none. So all those in favor say aye for the agenda.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion to approve the council workshop minutes held Tuesday, September 18th, 2012?
So moved. Second.
All those any corrections or additions to those minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion to approve the regular city council meeting held Tuesday, September 18th, 2012?
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are no reports of advisory boards and commissions. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar tonight?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. You communicated. So any items to pull or to question? We had A through G. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the consent calendar signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have no public hearings or meetings this evening, which our high school students are probably somewhat appreciative of, though they can be really quite interesting, actually. So a motion to approve the payment of claims.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Aho.
Aye.
Councilmember Butcher-Wickstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson.
Aye.
Acting Mayor Case.
Aye. We had no suggested reports of council members, nor city managers, so we're moving down now to the report of the Community Development Director, Ms. Jeremiah.
Mayor and council members, tonight you're asked to approve the Strategic Plan for Housing and Economic Development 2012 through 2018, so it's kind of a blueprint for the next 7 years. And this plan identifies progress made since approval of the 2005 strategic plan. It prioritizes new projects according to their importance and timing, and it identifies strategies and potential funding sources for implementation. And I'm just going to run through a few slides for the benefit of the public since
Not quite there yet.
Excuse me?
Not quite there yet.
Not quite ready yet, so I'll keep talking about the plan in general terms till we get there.
Well, maybe add that we had a workshop on it this evening, too.
We did. We had a workshop on it, and this plan is intended to be a living document, so it would be amended and updated as future conditions change. Did get some direction from the City Council this evening at workshop with regard to some amendments and fine-tuning of some of the projects. But just to give you a little history, this dates back to 2005 when the city adopted the original strategic plan for housing and economic development, and it was subsequently confirmed and amended over the course of years 2005 through today. And then in March of this year, we started workshops with the council to consider a more comprehensive update of the overall plan and to make sure it leads us into the next 7 years. And there were 3 workshops held in the spring of this year with regard to that plan, and one in particular focusing on affordable housing. And staff has made some changes to the plan to try to address the comments and direction from the council, and has developed a report that will be available on our city website that includes the history, the status of the projects that were initially approved in 2005, and then it describes the projects for the next 7 years. And one of the major changes to this plan as it's evolved over time, back in 2005, the major focus of the plan was the major center area, the area around the mall, and a lot of initiative there to develop a town center, make it more walkable and pedestrian friendly, and very high aesthetic gathering place for the community. The focus in this version of it for the next 7 years is more with regard to LRT, because we see light rail transit coming to Eden Prairie. We're planning for it now, and that's kind of the major initiative. So this gives you a little bit of a timeline, which I talked about already. And with regard to the 2005 project status, just to call out some of the housing projects of particular interest. About midway down, you'll see a City Hill Fellowship new green affordable home utilizing land trust model as well as Hennepin Technical Construction. That has been completed, as well as other land trust homes. And we have a new first-time home buyers program that's been very well received, and also did 83 single-family home rehabs during that 7-year time period, keeping our housing condition in good stock. With regard to economic development and redevelopment projects, just a few highlights. Superior Office redevelopment is one that we assisted with TIF. We secured an $848,000 grant for Presbyterian Homes redevelopment, which will include more retail as well as housing, and assisted the Windsor Plaza redevelopment, which is nearly complete. It has one pad left. We worked with Walmart on dedicating right-of-way for future Eden Road extension and an escrow for streetscape along Singletree. Helped Emerson Rosemont secure a grant for a $25 million renovation and hundreds of new jobs. And we worked with UHG on a 1.5 million square foot development and dedication of land for the LRT station and a park and ride facility on their property at City West. You'll see that under construction now. We also helped fully lease the Den Road liquor store property, helped Cigna expand a ramp at Southwest Crossing, facilitated the GE Eco Experience development, facilitated renovation of and expansion of several other Eden Prairie businesses, and helped therefore preserve jobs and help them expand. And now moving into the new projects for 2012 to 2018, like I said, the focus of this strategic plan is on light rail transit. So there are a lot of projects related to light rail transit, keeping our businesses informed of what's going on with that, since it's mostly through private business property, looking at different alignments and station locations in town center. We also expect we may have the operation and maintenance facility in Eden Prairie for the entire Southwest light rail line. And we're looking at the planning around all of 5 station areas in Eden Prairie to make sure that we realize our goals of getting more housing and economic development in those areas. We're undergoing some of the work to make sure that our dreams come to reality, like a stormwater analysis of the town center area, a corridor-wide housing strategy, making sure underrepresented communities of people in Eden Prairie are part of the process and have ways to engage and grow entrepreneurial businesses in the station areas. We're looking at an ordinance to make sure that we get the type of physical development that we want in these areas, and then we'll look at actually building some transit-oriented development projects around the stations. With regard to other economic development projects, we've been working very hard on leases for the city center because we know C.H. Robinson plans to move into a new building in 2014, so we'll have some vacant space in this building at that time. We're trying to help facilitate the Shady Oak Bridge reconstruction because we know that will be good for economic development in both the Golden Triangle and City West areas. We're on a web-based business directory, so helping folks navigate the businesses in our community via our website. We held our first Realtors Forum in 2011 to help educate the real estate community and engage them and make sure they understand all the good things that we have to offer as a city, and also the school district was involved with that, and we plan to repeat that in 2013 and beyond. We have a number of business retention and expansion programs. One more towards expansion and entrepreneurialism is the Open to Business program, which was off to a good start this year, helping entrepreneurs with business plans, financing, and the like. We're going to continue the streetscape development with Prairie Center Drive Phase 1 likely being the next phase alongside the Presbyterian Homes redevelopment. They have agreed to pay for their portion of that. And we'd also like to see Single Tree Lane continued in front of the Walmart area. They did provide an escrow for that. And additional mixed-use development in the major center area, as well as continuing the wayfinding signage program to help folks navigate within this area and find their way back to the freeways, which had been a challenge before we started this program. Also, we're looking to the future of doing more local street construction in the major center area to create more of a grid and more opportunities to use alternate routes through that area. We're looking at the Golden Triangle area with regard to its capacity to do more transit-oriented development, as there will be a station in Golden Triangle. We're looking at potentially establishing a co-working collaborative business center and business incubator, which again would help entrepreneurs and others who want to basically mingle with others during their workday, provide some space for them to do so. And fiscal impact modeling is a method of helping us analyze different types of development scenarios and their impacts on the city tax base, services, et cetera. And that'll come in real handy as we're looking at the station area redevelopment. The city entry monument signage program is to try to get just that, city entrance monument, so that you know when you're entering Eden Prairie, and you'll see that often in other cities. It's something that we would like to see get started here. A Convention and Visitors Bureau and also a conference center is something that has been discussed for years, but we are making some progress with the hoteliers and the Chamber of Commerce with regard to making that a reality. We would like to see more major center area public art. You're seeing an example from another community, but we've also had some art at Windsor Plaza so far. And something that we see a little bit further into the future and therefore has been designated as lower priority but still important is Midwest asphalt area redevelopment. We see that as kind of a tired industrial area with some impacts to the neighbors that would likely redevelop in the future. And also realignment of Single Tree Lane so that as you cross Flying Cloud, you go directly onto 78th Street. And that's something that's been discussed in the past. And we had kind of an interim improvement to get us through about the next 10 years. But eventually we do see that as being an important route through Eden Prairie. And there's one more slide on housing projects for 2012 through 2018. We have some affordable projects right now that might lose their affordability unless we come to agreement on extending those, and we'd like to see that done. Exciting new project is tried to get a green or environmentally sustainable neighborhood, a new neighborhood in Eden Prairie that would have all of those kinds of green attributes and would be affordable to kind of middle income people, not low income, but kind of the mid-market range. And we'd like to increase all home ownership opportunities via various programs, make sure our townhomes are in good shape. Those are the housing improvement areas and the Homeowners Association improvement grants. There's some deferred maintenance of some of our townhomes, and we'd like to see that improved. We'll continue the rehab loan program, which has been very popular for single-family and duplexes, and expand that so that you don't necessarily need to be low income, but again, could be more middle income and take advantage of that. Continue to do more rehab grants for nonprofits, senior buildings, et cetera. And we'd like to look really closely at our existing rental housing and all ways that we can ensure that the quality is kept up and improved if possible, that the operations are, very, very top-notch, and there are no operational problems at any of our rental housing facilities, and that the affordability is maintained and possibly even increased. And with regard to new housing, we're looking at the idea of speaking with developers as they come in with housing projects to see if there's any way we can integrate some affordable housing into those projects via a different funding mechanism, and also converting some of our existing units to affordable while improving those properties. So using the improvements as an incentive to get more affordability. So that's kind of a hopefully relatively concise look at our strategic plan for the next 7 years. And like I said, we are asking tonight that the council approve this plan. Although it will evolve over time, we will continue to bring changes before you, and would also incorporate the direction from tonight's City Council workshop.
One of the more positive parts of this report tonight is that in the midst of the Great Recession the last 3, 4, 5 years, we've had this strong commercial and residential market, which just says a lot for Eden Prairie. So, and this highlights it when you list out all the myriad of projects. So thank you for your department for doing this, and thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. Is this report available online for our residents? And I don't know if the students need it for class, but
we were awaiting your approval tonight,
yeah.
And then we'll have it online tomorrow.
Great. And then just real fast, is it worth mentioning today that, or tonight, that the LRT project got a boost that was in the paper today, and maybe just mention super fast what that was with the President of the United States?
Yes, it was designated as a federal can't wait project, I believe is the terminology, which means it's prioritized. We can't wait is the exact term I'm being told from the audience there. And the idea of that is that it would be given priority from the federal government, and it would be receive facilitation with regard to the different federal approvals that it would need to try to keep it on a fast track and get this project underway as quickly as possible, because it is seen as a significant regional and even nationally needed piece of our infrastructure, and it's seen as being very positive for economic development and job creation.
And for our residents, but also our students in the audience, this LRT project is a big deal, as you know, for Eden Prairie. To bring that in, it would be north of Costco, if you can picture that line, and to have the LRT potential to shoot right down to Minneapolis is an incredible economic boost to our area, and just something I think Eden Prairie is tickled pink over if this actually ends up by 2018 working out. So this was a good announcement today. Any other questions or thoughts from the council that you'd like to ask or share, and also our city manager could pipe in?
I'll just add, Mayor and Council, you talked about having the document available, and we think it is a very readable document. It gives you a really good flavor for what's happening in the city, all things LRT, economic development, and housing, and broken down, each page having a project on there. And I think we pride ourselves as a city on forward thinking and putting plans out. We have 10-year capital improvement plans and forecasting our budgets far into the future, and it should be no different with a lot of our economic development and housing projects as well. So I think if a resident or any interested person would spend some time looking through the document, it's going to give them a really good idea of where the city is heading in the next 6 years in all those areas, understanding, as Ms. Jeremiah said, it's a living document. It changes, and many of these projects obviously need to come back to the council to be implemented. But it's not something that every city necessarily does, but we have, and a lot of time and energy was put into the document, and we think it was well worth it.
I was on the Senior Issues Task Force in 1995, and we projected way ahead to 2015 what our city would look like demographically. And in 2020, and we predicted, this is interesting, I think, for students, but we predicted that the number of senior citizens 65 and older would exactly equal the number of students 18 and younger, and we're right on track. It's pretty amazing that our city is aging that way, and we're here 20 years into our future within a couple of years. If there aren't any other questions or comments, is there a motion to approve the strategic plan for housing and economic development?
I move to approve the strategic plan for housing and economic development 2012 through 2018, including any amendments per city council direction.
And we did have some, thank you, and we did have some thoughts and I guess you would call them amendments down in our workshop that were heard by staff.
Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded. And any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We now move to the reports of Parks and Recreation Director. Mr. Lothammer, you have 3 items, I believe.
Yes, Your Honor. Council members, I'll explain all 3 of them at once. They're very similar and related. The Hennepin Youth Sports Grant Program that's been in place for several years now, and you're very aware as council members, we've had some successful applications. And the Baseball Association has come back and is looking to do 3 applications, and they're very site-specific. At Starring Lake, there's covered players' benches on both of the fields. Franlow Park, covered players' benches and 1 batting cage. And then at Miller Park, 2 batting cages at that location. The way that this would work is baseball is pledging 50% of the cost. The grant would cover the second half of the cost, and so there wouldn't be any city funds invested. Our contribution is our assistance with preparing the grant materials as well as doing the construction management piece of the project if they were to be successful. So all 3 of these require a resolution by the council to authorize us to enter into this grant agreement. We would submit this by October 5th and then hopefully here before the first of the year so that we would know going into the construction season next year if we would be able to complete these projects.
Great. Could we whip through one at a time here? So if I could have a motion on the first one and a second, we'll vote, and then we'll go on to the second.
All right, I'll go for the first one. Move to adopt the resolution authorizing staff to submit a grant request to the Hennepin Youth Sports Grant Program for Miller Park ball field improvements.
So second.
Second.
Any questions on this item? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And moving to the second.
I move to adopt the resolution authorizing staff to submit a grant request to the Hennepin Youth Sports Grant Program for Franlow Park ball field improvements.
There's second.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this one? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The
Move-
third item.
Move to adopt a resolution authorizing staff to submit a grant to the Hennepin Youth Sports Grant Program for Starring Lake Park ball field improvements.
There's second.
Second.
Any questions or comments on this item? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any other business to come before the council this evening? I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Residents of Eden Prairie, Edina, and Bloomington. Practice your bullseye shooting Saturday mornings from